Good evening, student. Today, in this module, we have to know the key features of the Constitution. Before we know about the key features, let's start with some introductory. You all know that the Indian national movement that have been active in the struggle for independence from the British rule for several decades. So, during the freedom struggle, the nationalists had devoted a great deal, a great time to imagine and planning what a free India would be like. Under the British, they had forced to obey the rules that they had very little role in making. So, for that reason, when they get a chance to create constitution, in that timing this was done not by any one particular person but by a group of around 300 people who became members of the Constituent Assembly in 1946 and who met periodically for the next 3 years to write down the Indian's constitution. You all know that in our country uh, there's a lots of different kinds of culture, spoke different languages, belong to different religion, had a distinct culture. So it's very difficult for the Constituent Assembly to gathering that, to collaborate that, to accommodate all these different things in a one particular platform. For that reason, the our Indian constitutions, they try to make it keep in mind about this all kind of different diversities, unity, socio-economic reform and representatives. They try to collaborate and put in one particular document, that is constitution. So in this module we have to know that what are that features which they keep in mind for making the constitution. There's a lots of features are there, but in your class 8 you have to know only the five main features, key features of Indian constitution. So let's start to know, first to know that what are that features, then we will go to one by one about that features. So our first features of Indian constitution, that is federalism. Next is parliamentary form of government, separation of power, fundamental rights, and secularism. These five you have to know in these features. Now federal, from the word I hope, the word federalism, I hope you this is one of the new point to you. So now first we have to know that how you will know about that. Due to some features you will learn that as these features are in any particular country, then that country is known as federal. So first we have to know the federal meaning through its different features. That is, it means where we get two or more than two level of government. In class, in your class 6 book, I hope you all learned about the different kinds of levels of government. Now, what are the levels of the government? There is a three level of the government in our Indian constitution. One is central, who take care of all over the country. Another is state, who is take care of its own particular area. Another is local. Under the local we get panchayat raj and we get the municipality. So this is called the three levels of government. So any country where we get more than two or two level of government or more than two level of the government, that is known as federalism. That means the federalisms are federal means where the government are divided its power not only with one particular hand but with others level of the government. That is called federalism. In our India, we get the third tier, that is the local tier, that we known as Panchayati Raj also. This states government, these states are not the subordinate of the central. In federalism, in unitary form of government, there where only one particular government are uh, dominated the other, but in federalism it is not happen. In federalism, the central are not dominated the state. The state are not at all subordinated of the central. The state have its own authority, it have its own autonomy, it have its own freedom to maintain the law and order in their own particular country. So for that reason, in federalism, the states are not at all the subordinate of the center. Some lists are detailed to each tier and they can make laws on that. Central government, some departments are included. In state government, some departments are included, and in local also some departments are included. This department is known as list or subject. So each and every level of the government, they have their own particular departments, own particular subjects. So that, and for that particular department, only that particular level where they include, they only make the laws, and their laws are final, and no other level of government can interfere into that. Others level of government have the autonomy to exercise its power on certain issues. If suppose in the state government they have some rules and regulation, so they have the power to maintain that rules and regulation upon their citizens, and in that way, in that timing, the central will not be interfere in it, or not local government interfere with that. Similarly, if the local government takes some decision, they make some laws, then in that laws the state and the central will not be interfere in it. So every level of the government, they have their one particular area where they can exercise, they can implement their power, and no one will be interfere on that. And the last point is that people in India are governed by laws and policy. You all know that we citizens are always followed some rules and regulations, some laws and policies which was made by the government. And that government is not that only central government make the laws. Each and every tier they make the laws, and that each and every tier we have to follow. Means as you know, we all are live in the West Bengal, so we have to be maintain the laws and policy what our government, that is state government, West Bengal government made for us, as well as we also have to be maintain the central government rules and regulation. So basically, and as you are live in your own district, so you have to follow your district's rules and regulation also. So each and every level of the government, they are making their policies, their laws, and we people of India are have to be maintain that one, and we are governed by that laws and regulations. So this is your first point, that is federalism. So basically federalism is nothing but when the central government had divided its power with the two other government or more other units, and all the units are equal in power, that is known as federalism. Now there is a word parliamentary form of government. I hope you all heard about the two terms, presidential form of government and parliamentary form of government. There is a two form of government. So in this in your class here we have to know only the next parliamentary form of government. Now what is parliamentary form of government? The government where executive means the ministers branch of government has direct or indirect support of the parliament. That means the here the parliament, that is the legislature whom we make, we choose our representative and they seated in that parliament, somehow they are directly or indirectly govern the executives. That means the executives and ministers have to be supported the parliament's rules and regulations. That is parliamentary form of government. In parliamentary form of government, the head of the government is prime minister, but the head of the state or the country is an elected president. See, our country India is also a parliamentary form of government. If you go through with the news, or if you go through with the work of the government, you can get that president somehow all the deals, all the agreements that is come in front of the government, in front of the people, that is declared by the prime minister, that is in our country, that is Narendra Modi. Very few deals, very few announcements, very few things are declared by the president. So for that reason it is said that our country's head is our elected president in parliamentary form of government, but the government head, now there is a question maybe arise in your mind that country's head and government head, what is the difference between that? country's head means your India's head person is president, but the government head means all the work, all the rules, all the regulations, everything which is run the country, that government are held by the prime minister. So prime minister running the government as a head, and president as a head symbolize our country because he or she is the head of the state. So parliamentary form of government means the government which is run by the parliament, and where executives, that is ministers, have to directly or indirectly supported parliament, where prime minister is the head of the government and a president is the head of the state. So this is called parliamentary form of government. Now separation of the powers. From this word separation, I hope you understand that to divided its power, to separate its power. Now what is that? You along with the level in class 6, I think you all learned that along with the level of the government there is a organs of the government also there. Means our government are divided into three different branches, three different organs. What are that? First one is that legislative, second executive, third is judiciary. These are the three different branches of the organ of the government, where the power of the government are divided with these three departments or three branches. Now, who are the legislatives? Legislatives are those who makes the laws. That is our parliament. So you all know that whatever the laws, regulation, budgets, any kind of announcement, any kind of strategies, planning, policies, everything that is made by the parliament only. So for that reason, we call the department or the branch who makes the laws is known as legislative. Now it's not only that by making the laws it's finished. No, after making the law it passes to the executives. Now who are the executives? Executives are the ministers. The ministers are responsible for making, for implementing the laws upon the society. That means the laws which is made or passed by the parliament, that laws goes to the ministers, and responsible respective ministers, they are implemented, they are declared in the society. If I'm giving one example, suppose the law passed that every people, those who don't, who are below the poverty line, they get 5 kgs of rice or 5 kgs of pulse in every month. This law was made by the legislative and that is passed. Now it's up to the concerned minister, that is the food ministry, that is the agriculture ministry, resource ministry. They are responsible for implementing, for executing this law in the society and declaring this law in the society. So this is a work and run the government as well. So this is the executive work. And a judiciary. Judiciary means the system of court. Now it's judiciary system, that is a court system. They are take care whether the whatever the laws are made by the legislative, that is properly making or not, in by concern with the citizens interest, and also take care of that, also supervising that the laws which are made by the legislative, that was implemented by the ministers or not. So from my example, I hope you all understand that legislative, executive, judiciary, these three powers, or you can say, so that no one will be misusing, for preventing to misuse the power by any particular one branch of the government, the constitution are making these three organs, so that each and every organ, they are checking others organs work, and also balance their power between all the three places. That means these three organs, these three, legislative, executive, judiciary, they are checking each other's work, they are supervising each other works, and they can balance their power within each other without interfering anyone things. So that is your separation of power, means the constitution are divided the power into three different branches. Now we have to know the next features, that is secularism. The word secular is very much important, because you all know that our country is India is known as a secular state. Now what is secular? Secular means respect for all the religion. That is the secular. That means the state One thing, please keep in mind that in civics, the state does also mean the country. So the country which does not officially promote any one religion as a state religion. See, in our India, we do not able to say that Hindu is our national religion, because India is a secular country, and in our India, not a particular religion are indicating the country's religion. So officially we don't have any religion as a national religion. All the religions get respect in our country, and that is called secularism. Because you all know that these features are taken by the constitution committee. Why? Not because you all know that in our country we are coming from a very, in our country different kinds of religions, peoples are there. So for gathering them, for uh, making the laws for all of them, these features are very much important, because whenever you are not implementing secularism, giving respect to each and every religion, you are not accommodate all the diverse, all the different kinds of religious people. So for that reason our constitutions are taking this religion, where they are not promoting any particular religion as a national religion. So for that reason we say that India is a secular country. Now these are the four features which you I hope you learned from this module. In our next video, we will know about the fundamental rights in a details. So I hope you all understand about these four important features of constitution. Thank you, student.